I don't know. My Salvia experience would be a good start, I guess. That's a good story. My first Salvia experience. Okay, well, I guess first I would start by saying that I have done a few drugs, quite a few different drugs. I always had knowledge of who I was, where I was on planet Earth. You know, those were always constants. No matter how fucked up I got, I always knew those things. Salvia, completely different story. And it was legal when I bought it, drove home with it. It was like buying it at the store and driving home with it. You know, in retrospect, I'm glad I didn't decide to hit it driving home, because I would have wrecked and probably died. And I don't know if it's still legal the way it was whenever I got it. I tried it right after Hurricane Katrina. Excuse me. I had 6 feet of water in my home, lost everything. So my wife and I were living in a FEMA trailer, a shitty little FEMA trailer. Like I said, we went to the store and bought it. It was 20-time extract, Salvia divinorum, I believe is how it's pronounced. Went home. Now, I've talked to several people, and their experiences were nothing like mine. From what I've come to determine, in most cases, it was because they didn't do it right. The key is you have to have a torch lighter. If it's not a torch lighter, it's not going to work. It has to reach a certain temperature for it to release the chemical, the active chemical that you're looking for. Anyway, we get home, and I lay in bed, and like I said, we were in a FEMA trailer, and you could see the end of the FEMA trailer from the bed. It was just right there, 20 feet away or whatever, 22 feet away. So I kind of expected it to be like smoking weed or something. You know, you take a hit and you pass it to someone, and they take a hit and pass it back to you. That's what I expected. I took a hit. I had a long peace pipe, torch lighter, packed a big bowl, took a huge hit, breathed it in real deep, passed the pipe to my wife while I held it in. And I noticed she didn't take a hit. She just stood there holding it, looking at me. And after I blew it out, I reached for the pipe again, take another hit, and she handed it to me with a weird look on her face, and I took it. And as soon as I took it, it started hitting me. Blackness started coming around me, surrounding me. So I handed it back to her real quick. It's like, okay. I laid down, and as soon as I laid down, this is where it gets weird. My mind shoots out of my body, and I'm above the trailer about 100 feet, looking down on the trailer. And off in the distance, as far as I could see, it was like a dream state, so it was weird. I could see further than I normally would be. I don't know, it was weird. But it was like I saw a huge steamroller coming towards me. And then I shot further up, and it was like I was near the edge of the atmosphere, looking at the world. And the best way I can describe it is, it was like this huge garden hose going from one side of the earth to the other side of the earth, rolling across the earth, sucking up, crushing everything under it, and sucking everything up under it, like a steamroller from the Looney Tunes cartoons. That's what it reminds me of. And it was just destroying everything on the earth as it rolled across the earth. And as it got closer to the trailer, I sucked back into my body. And I was laying in bed, looking at the end of the trailer, and I watched, in vivid detail, the trailer being crushed under this garden hose. As the garden hose was rolling over the trailer, it was just crushing it underneath. like a steamroller. And it got to my legs, and I watched my legs spaghettify underneath it, just underneath the steamroller. And it creeped up, kept creeping up, and when it got to about right here, I was able to see on the other side of the garden hose steamroller, and I saw myself on the other side pushing the steamroller towards me. So in essence, I was steamrolling myself. And next to me, on the other side of the steamroller, I could see my wife doing the same thing. She was also helping push the steamroller, and she was crushing herself on this side of the steamroller. And as it got to my head and crushed my head, everything blacked out, and my consciousness shot out into space again, and I saw every single person in the world on one side of the garden hose steamroller crushing themselves on the other side of the steamroller. So everybody in the world was doing this to themselves, and somehow I was the catalyst for all this. It was very weird. And when I don't know, after that it was really weird. I sucked back that. Oh, no, first I started, no, pardon me. I sucked back into the atmosphere, further away from Earth. It was like I was out in the universe. And I started freaking out because I thought I was dead. I'd never experienced, like I said, I'd never experienced anything like that. I always knew who I was and where I was. So I thought I died. And I kind of started freaking out, obviously. Later I found out from my wife that at this point I started screaming, "Oh fuck, oh God, I'm dead, I'm dead." And she said I was physically, freaking out. And she told me, "It's okay, calm down, this is what it's supposed to be like." Now I remember in my mind, as I was floating through the universe, I heard my wife's voice say, "It's okay, this is what it's supposed to be like." I heard her say that while I was floating through the universe, and I took that as her meaning we were both dead, and this is what death was like, and it was okay. It wasn't a big deal, and for me to calm down. So I still assumed I was dead, but I wasn't freaking out about it anymore, so that was a good thing. And I spent the rest of the trip floating through the universe and visiting planets and spirits and dead relatives and gods. I was a part of everything, and everything was a part of me. I don't know any other way to describe it. It was a very strange experience. I won't do it again. I tried it 2 more times after that, but not as big of a hit. Kind of thought I might enjoy it a little better since I was a little more aware of what was going to happen. No, I didn't enjoy it. I tried it 3 times in total. It's strange because I would honestly suggest it. If you're curious, I would suggest trying it to people. But I wouldn't do it again. It's that kind of mind-altering, mind-expanding experience that is once in a lifetime kind of experience. I don't know. It was like I convened with shamans, and it was crazy. But I'll never do it again. But if you are curious and you do plan on doing it, the key is the torch lighter, first off. If you don't have a torch lighter, the temperatures that doesn't get high enough, and you're not going to get the experience that you're hoping for. Secondly, make sure there's someone with you. Make sure you're in a home, you're in a comfortable place, you're sitting down, and make sure there's someone, a sitter, with you. The effects only last a few minutes, and then you snap out of it. But you need to have someone there with you in case you freak out the way I did. There's no telling what would have happened if my wife wasn't there to calm me down, because I was clearly freaking out. So that's the first story. Anybody watches this, feel free to ask questions, comments, whatever. I don't know. This is my first video. I'm all very new to this. But hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if it works out, I'll have more to come. I've got a lot of crazy stories. Maybe my next story will be the time when I was falsely arrested for attempted murder, felony, grand theft auto, attempted murder, felony hit and run, breaking and entering, and assault with a deadly weapon. Did I say that one? Anyway, it's 5 felony counts. I'll work it out if I decide to do that story next. Take care. Bye-bye, Internet.